I consider entertainment similar to food. There is a wide range of things that are offered as food. Some are five-star meals and some are junk food, and they all have their place on the food chain, or I like to think so. And I think of vertical dramas as snacks, as junk food. So usually, like his advice, I try to limit my exposure to the junk food of entertainment. But every once in a while, I stumble across them and I find them very, very funny. I feel like they can be like comedic relief sometimes. And so there's this app on my phone that keeps sending me like notifications. Like it's one of those apps that come with your Android phones that you cannot get rid of. And I was like, okay, let me even just see what this app is about, because I don't even understand what it is about. And when I checked it, it's like it has radio stations and also has short TV shows, like short movies, short like vertical dramas. And one of the first ones I watched was let me check it out. One of the first dramas I watched on the app was titled Screen Time, and it was quite decent. And I later found out that it was produced by Issa Rae's company. I hope I'm saying that well. But it was really, really entertaining and really decent. The acting was decent, and it reminded me of chat stories. I don't know if you know about that, but I was even employed at some point to write chat stories for clients, and I really enjoyed writing them, and they were really, really nice. They were really a nice form of entertainment while they lasted. And so that is how Screen Time was. It was a decent mystery watch, and I enjoyed it. And so I was like, oh wow, you see, I've been looking down on this app, let me even look at more, and I couldn't find any other of the same quality. That being said, I found some really, really cringe dramas, and I want to share one of them with you. And it is the one I want to share with you is titled Escape from the Mafia King's Embrace. And so it's about this nurse who is in a relationship with this horrible guy, but she doesn't know he's cheating on her and that he's a horrible guy. And on Valentine's night, while she's working, he's out there cheating on her. While she's in this ambulance, they stumble across a man lying on the floor lying in the middle of the road, and he's badly wounded. And so she rushes out to try to help the man and tries to tend to his wound. But while they are on the road, they get attacked by like a group of men in all these black cars and whatnot. And the men immediately take out the driver. And when you see them take out the driver, you think, oh, it's a rival group coming for this guy. But it turns out that it's his own group that came to rescue him, in quotes, from the ambulance. And so when they rescue him, his men tell him that, oh, you know what to do. Since this woman saw your face, she cannot leave. And so she's begging, like, oh, please don't kill me. And he's like, well, the only way that I will not kill you is if you marry me. Right? If you marry me and bear my name, then I would not kill you. And so obviously, if you have to choose between death and marrying some guy, well, most people are going to choose marrying the guy, especially if he's a good looking guy. So she chooses to marry him, in quotes. And so he takes her to this apartment or whatever, this villa, this really expansive, beautiful home. And he's like, you're going to stay here until the wedding. I give you 7 days to fall in love with me. And I'm like, okay, what is happening right now? You see how funny that just... I was like, what is going on right now? I mean, it's wanting to marry somebody, but it's nothing to say, I give you 7 days to fall in love with me. Anyways, throughout the waiting period, we have the whole hot glances and, uncomfortable situation of him, like, being overly friendly, in quotes, with her. And she'd be like, oh, don't touch me, you disgust me. Anyways, one day when she comes down the stairs, one of the guys, the mafia henchman, tries to get with her, like, oh, you know how, and the other guys are like, oh, don't touch her. And he's like, oh, this how our boss is. He just uses and discards women. So let me just take my turn. It doesn't even mean anything to him. She doesn't mean anything to him. And while he's trying to take advantage of her, to be euphemistic, the mafia boss comes. I think his name is called Soren. His name is Soren. He comes and he beats up the other guy and commands the rest of them and everyone to leave the place. And then he's like, I'm going to protect you. He's like, I'm going to protect you. No one is ever going to hurt you. And I'm like, you are the person that brought her into this dangerous situation in the first place. So, like, you're creating a trouble. You're creating problem just to fix it. Like, what are you? What are you right now? Okay, so he says, I'm gonna protect you. No one is gonna ever hurt you. And then he proceeds to kiss her immediately. I mean, common sense. If someone has just been attacked in that kind of way, the last thing that should be on your mind is getting with them in any capacity, right? But it's like, oh, I'm gonna protect you, and then he pounces on her and kisses her, and then she disengages from the kiss and like, oh, don't touch me, and he's like, oh, I know you're gonna fall for me. Then he lifts her up and takes her into that other room. Nigerians will get what I mean. He takes her into the other room and she's like, oh, go away, get away. And so he leaves her, right? And so they go wedding shopping. And while she's trying on clothes, she goes into the changing room to get out of the clothes, and then he comes to, she's like, oh, where is this? Like, she's calling for the shop assistant or whatever, and instead he comes into the room and tries to help her get out of the clothes, and she's like, oh, don't touch me, where's the other person, like, where's the shop assistant? And he's like, I don't want anyone to ever touch you ever. I had a good laugh while watching this. Like, I was mildly offended by the plot, but also really, really amused. Like, I laughed oh my god, I laughed so hard. It was so funny. If you overlook the problematic part, it was quite funny. Anyways, she decides to run away while she's trying out the clothes. She runs away, and he doesn't chase after her, but he calls his men like, go get her. While she's outside and in her wedding gown like an escaped bride, she tries to call her boyfriend, and coincidentally her boyfriend just appears out of nowhere in a car. It's like, get in. And she's like, oh, thank you for saving me. Like, I don't get how he knew where she was, right? For this kind of movies, in quote, you do not ask questions, right? Because you're not going to get answers. So he tells her, don't worry, I'm here to save you, blah blah blah, drink this water and be okay. And anyone with common sense will be like, why are you encouraging me to drink water and how did you find me, right? Because he didn't pick the call when she called, so she was not even able to tell him where she was. Anyways, she drinks the water and she starts feeling out of it. So the water has been laced with something, and he drives her into a hotel and carries her into a room where he is trying to offer her to someone else for money, right? So it's just quite problematic, honestly. Anyways, while she's out of it, right? She's out of it because of the drugs. And while this other guy is trying to get with her, to be euphemistic, her mafia boyfriend busts into the room with his men and they beat up the other guy. And he's like, chop the guy's legs off and his hands off and leave him to the wolves. That part was really funny. Oh my god. And the henchmen drag him out by his legs. Anyways, okay, now he takes her back into his car and it's like, never you run away from me anymore. I don't know, something like that. I will find you, blah blah blah. You cannot run. I will protect you, all those kind of things. And so while she's in the car, the drugs start to have effect on her and arouse her, right? And she's like, help me out. And I'm like, what the hell is going what the hell is going on? Help me. And he steps out into the rain to compose himself, right? I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be funny because it's quite problematic, but Oh my God. Anyways, so slowly but surely, as is the case for most victims of kidnapping, she falls in love with the mafia boss, right? Especially when she finds out that her dying mom has been saved by the mafia boss. You know, she has been, her hospital where she was receiving palliative care or whatever, she has been moved from that hospital to a hospital where one of the only doctors that can treat her in the entire world, you know, is has been hired by this mafia boss to treat her mother, right? So who won't fall in love with someone that is saving their mom, right? So she falls in love with him. Also, when she finds out that he, although he is into other crimes, he doesn't trade in children and women. She's like, oh, he's not such a bad person after all. Yeah, so she falls in love with him, and there are all these funny scenes of of intimacy, and yeah, it was quite funny. And then there's also the plot point of a stepmother who wants him to get married to someone that she has organized for him so that they can lay claim to the wealth. And the stepmother tries to bully this kidnapped nurse. And, you know, he rescues her from the stepmother a couple of times. And eventually, the stepmother and her niece, I think, I don't even know who the woman, I think she was her niece, they get the nurse to leave him when they started falling in love, right? And they decide to get married for real. Like, not, this is not forced, in quotes. This is not a forced wedding. This is them falling in love and deciding to spend their lives together, right? So the niece of the stepmother tell the nurse that if she doesn't leave him, they're going to expose him and put him in danger or something like that. They're going to expose that he's not the real child of his father, and that will create problems in the empire or their crime empire, whatever. And so she leaves him heartbroken. She leaves him at the altar. She runs away, but he finds her and later tells her that, oh, they were lying and all that, and they live happily ever after. Yeah, so it's a very problematic but quite funny. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that it's problematic but also funny. That's what makes the whole thing confusing. It's a problematic story, but it's also very funny. I think that what made it funny is that they're not even trying to take themselves too seriously. It's just too funny. Anyways, I enjoyed laughing, right, at the funny parts. And if you want something that you can laugh at and cringe at the same time, then maybe check it out. Otherwise, if you've enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.